Have you ever felt that feeling, like you're just groaning under the weight of it all? Well, today we're diving into a chapter of the Bible that speaks right into that feeling. It offers this incredible vision of cosmic hope and ultimate glory. We're going to explore Romans chapter 8, specifically through the lens of early Christian tradition.
Yeah, theologians have actually called this chapter the Magna Carta of Christian freedom and hope, and wow, is that an understatement? It lays out this absolutely stunning vision for humanity, and get this, the entire cosmos. It paints a picture that moves from our struggles right now to a future so full of glory we can barely even wrap our minds around it.
So, where does this incredible journey begin? Well, it starts with a radical shift in our identity. And the agent of this change, the one who makes it all happen, is the Holy Spirit. It's all about a transformation from being a servant to becoming a true child of God.
And the contrast here is just so powerful. On one side, you've got what's called the spirit of bondage. This is a relationship with God that's based on fear, kind of like a slave who has to obey a master just to follow the rules. But then the Holy Spirit comes in and ushers in something totally new, the spirit of adoption. And this isn't about fear at all, it's about love. The whole relationship changes to one of a child with their loving parent.
This new relationship is so close, so intimate, that we can actually cry out, Abba, Father. Now, Abba is this Aramaic term of just deep, deep affection. Think of a little kid calling out Daddy or Papa. It shows a kind of closeness and trust and vulnerability that was just unimaginable before. It's really the sound of a heart that knows, without a doubt, that it belongs.
And if you think that's amazing, the implications are even bigger. I mean, think about it. If we're children, the text says, then that makes us heirs. And we're not just talking about inheriting some worldly kingdom. No, we are heirs of God Himself. And even more than that, co-heirs with Christ. This means that our destiny is to share in the exact same glory, the same resurrected, incorruptible life that Christ has.
But how do we get there? I mean, that sounds pretty amazing. The Orthodox tradition is really clear about this. The path to that glory, a concept they call theosis, or deification, it comes with a crucial condition, if indeed we suffer with Him. So what does that mean? It means our struggles right now, they aren't pointless. They're actually the necessary path, the way of the cross that leads directly to the glory of the resurrection.
Okay, so this brings up a massive question, right? It's the one we're all probably thinking. If we are really God's beloved children and we're destined for all this glory, why is life still so hard? Why is it so full of pain and struggle? Why do we still suffer? To get that answer, we've got to zoom out a little from our own personal experience and look at the much bigger picture.
And this is where the text just blows our minds a little bit, expanding our view from the personal to the cosmic. It reveals that, actually, we're not suffering alone. The entire universe is groaning right alongside us. Early church fathers like St. John Chrysostom saw this in such a profound way. They taught that all of creation, everything, the heavens, the earth, was subjected to futility when humanity fell. It suffers with us. But here's the key. Its groaning isn't a death rattle. It's compared to the pains of childbirth. It's a suffering that's full of expectation, waiting for something new to be born. And that brings us to this really interesting paradox of the Christian life. On one hand, we have the first fruits of the Spirit. It's like a down payment, a guarantee of the glory that's coming. But at the same time, we're still here in these mortal bodies that get old and break down. So we groan inwardly too, kind of caught in this in-between space, between the glory we've been promised and the reality we're living in right now.
And that's exactly why our conviction is described as being saved in hope. We don't see the final chapter yet. Our hope is locked onto a future reality we can't see. And that requires a lot of patience and just persevering through the struggles of the here and now.
So, while we're waiting in this state of hopeful groaning, are we just left on our own? No way. Absolutely not. And this brings us to one of the most comforting truths in this entire chapter, the intimate, powerful help of the Holy Spirit.
The text points out this really profound and, let's be honest, deeply relatable weakness we all have. So often, when we're in pain or we're confused, we just don't know what to pray for. Our words just fail. Our understanding is limited. We might ask for the wrong things or completely miss what we actually need.
And this is where the Spirit steps in. And the way it happens is just beautiful. First, the Spirit comes right alongside us to help in our weakness. Second, He takes our deep, unspoken, inward groans, the yearning of our hearts that we can't even form into words, and He translates them. And finally, He presents them to the Father as a perfect prayer, one that lines up completely with God's will for us.
To put it another way,
The Spirit basically acts as our divine translator. He takes the raw, messy, inarticulate data from our soul's deepest longing and refines it into a perfect prayer. That's an incredible assurance, right? It means that even when we are at our absolute weakest, we are being perfectly represented before God.
Okay, so all of this, our adoption as children, the groaning of all creation, the Spirit's prayers, it's all building toward a final climactic moment, a moment the text calls the manifestation or the revealing of the children of God.
The Greek word used here is apocalypsis. You know, where we get our word apocalypse. But it doesn't mean some big disaster movie. It literally means an unveiling. It's pointing to a future event when everything that's currently hidden about who we are as God's children will be made glorious and visible for everyone to see.
Just look at this contrast. Right now, our status as God's children is internal. It's hidden behind a veil of mortality and weakness. But in that future glorified state, our real dignity will be revealed for all to see. Our bodies, which now get sick and decay, will become imperishable, immortal. And all our groaning, it'll be replaced by what the text calls glorious liberty.
This great unveiling is the ultimate fulfillment of theosis. It's the moment that humanity, through grace, becomes like God. Think of it like a piece of iron you put in a fire. The iron doesn't become the fire itself, but it takes on the properties of the fire. It becomes hot and it glows. In the same way, we'll shine with the very glory of God.
And here is where the whole story connects back together. The text says that the entire universe is on its tiptoes, with eager expectation, just waiting for this exact moment. And why? Because our unveiling is the very thing that triggers its own freedom.
This chain of redemption is just so profound. In this view, humanity is like the bridge, the link between the spiritual and the material worlds. That means the fate of the whole cosmos is tied to our fate. So when we are finally glorified and fully restored at the apocalypsis, the rest of creation gets freed from its decay and restored right along with us. That's the liberation it's been groaning for.
So, to bring it all home, the journey we see in Romans 8 is just immense. It takes us from the most intimate, personal groan of a single human heart all the way to the glorious liberation of the entire cosmos. And all of it, every single step, is guided and comforted by the Holy Spirit. And that kind of leaves us with a final thought to mull over. In those moments when we feel weak, when we're struggling, what if we're not seeing the whole picture? What if our true glory, our ultimate identity as children of God, isn't actually gone or lost at all, but is just hidden for now, waiting for that great unveiling?